Hey, what's up, people? How's it going? Hey, I got a good one for you. It's a lace and an RD, and in front of the lace, there was a Patrick, from SpongeBob SquarePants, and after the RD was a plantain, as you probably just saw in the pictures before. I let it run before I actually talk about it. And yeah, we did that down between Canal and Spring Street on the 4, 5, and 6 passes through there. But between Canal and Spring Street on those stops, only the 6 train stops. Well, during the weekends and late at night, the 4, 5, and 6 will stop there if they're shutting down the express tracks. But, that's getting technical. And in all reality, it's the local tracks. So on the express tracks, they had this thing I've noticed. I was riding uptown one day looking out the window and I saw shit. It was like this long zinc that they built where they were storing those buckets that Lace is standing on in the photograph. I posted the photograph originally on my Instagram and I said I'll come on here and tell you guys the story about the bucket and the whole Lace thing when we did that because, yeah, it's a good one. Anyway, first time we went there, we did the Lace and the RD on a Friday night, probably around 2011. Yeah, maybe 2012 we did that. Yeah, around 11, 12, something like that. 2011, 2012, I'd say. That's from. And anyway, we went down on a Friday between Spring and Canal Street. We entered at Canal Street when the train pulled out uptown side. We jumped on the tracks, ran up on the middle tracks, and walked up to the zinc thing. And we started painting it. Did the outlines first, filled them in with silver. Lace did this real thick 3D with, I forget the pink. I believe it might be the same pink that we use for Patrick and a yellow, but it's all this new fancy paint that we used. And well, my outline was poppy red from Rust-Oleum. That's what I used. The 2X poppy red, I believe it's called. I probably have a can around here somewhere. You know what I'm talking about. It's called poppy red, or poppy seed. I believe that's it. Poppy seed red. Rust-Oleum. That's what my outline was. And we did the RD, the lace, completely finished it and everything. And the next night, Saturday into Sunday morning, we did the Patrick and the plant. We filled them in, did little force fields around and everything. Threw some like shine lines and shit in our stuff, and we got out of there. That's pretty much how we did it. And stayed there. Some assholes did fuck around with it. You know how it always is. But not like any real graffiti writers or anything. Just some idiots that thought it'd be cool to run through the train tunnel with a can of spray paint or something. Do some stupid shit. But it wasn't even bad. You couldn't really notice what they did. And it ran for about 3 or 4 years before they even did that shit. And now that zinc and everything, it's gone. There's no sign of that. The wall, everything's gone. It looks like a completely different tunnel now. It's just beams. Originally, when we went, they built some zinc there because they were doing some serious work and they needed a place to store stuff. So they built this long zinc. It's like maybe two whole cars. If you're thinking about an IRT whole car, 3 doors. Yeah, it's probably like we did whole cars that night, technically. The next day we came back, like I said, and we did the characters. And Lace wrote 357 Wow Style. And yeah, what else can I say about it? The buckets of paint, right? So those buckets that Lace is standing on in that picture, it's buckets of little sand grains of glass. That's what's inside them buckets. Little pieces of like dust of glass. It looks like glass from like a recycling type situation where they would grind it down into fucking powder. It's glass. The big fucking buckets that were standing on it, plastic buckets. Those are glass. Inside, little like sand, but it was glass. It says on it. And The purpose behind that, because they also had this thick yellow paint there. So the purpose behind that would be to make that stuff rough. You know, when they make the yellow line on the subway station, you do not cross this line because you can get hit by a train or fall on the tracks. That yellow line, it's like along the whole station. It's just stand back behind this line, this and that. Well, if you ever look at that yellow line, it's actually sandy and rough. So if it gets wet, it kind of gives you grip on your feet. Well, what that is it's like a yellow, thick oil-based paint, and they just throw this powdery glass over it, and it makes it even reflective-ish. Yeah, that's what that shit was. And we had them like in that picture. Lace had four of them, two, and then on top is another two, and he's standing on top of it. And it's kind of around a bend. So the train was coming. We're like, yo, your train's coming. So we grabbed the first two, pulled them out. The second two, boom, it was still there. So when the train came, it actually knocked it over. The fucking powdery shit was everywhere. We're like, fuck. I mean, even when we were done with those buckets, we put them right back where we found them from. Yeah, exactly, right back where. But one of them busted open, but they won't know about that. And plus, the train keeps going through all them little powdery glasses, shit blows all over the place. It's not even a mess. It's just like even the broken bucket and what remained in it, we've put back where we got it from. So it just looks like maybe it crushed from weight or something like that. I mean, honestly, it's fucking old. The zincs is lace and RD, but we're always careful like that. I always never make a mess and stuff like that. Always put shit back and stuff like that to the best you possibly can, you know. But yeah, we had no problems doing that. When the train would come, we would hide behind the zinc. We sat there. I remember hanging out for a couple of hours actually, just chilling. Yes. The RD and the lace, I think altogether by from the moment we got in there to the moment we got out was probably about 3.5, 4 hours. And the Patrick and the Plantain, that was the same, but work people came, like people that actually work on the traction shit. We're like, oh fuck, they're probably gonna come to this big thing that we're writing on because that's where like supplies are. But they didn't. They just fucked around with some shit down at the other end. But it slowed us down. We couldn't write. You know, we had to wait until they were done. And then we came out. But we just hung out there. I smoked some weed and shit like that. And just kicked back. When the work bums left, we went back and finished up our shit. Yeah, that's pretty much how that thing went down. But yeah, that bucket of stuff, it's a little powdered glass. It was all over the place. Didn't cause us no problems. You know, we were on the other side. We went to the downtown side of the zinc. The train was coming by, so it would poof that way. We were the whole other lane, and the zinc was blocking us, so we were good. It's not like we're inhaling these little fragments of glass. But I mean, and it wasn't that small where it would become airborne or something like that. You know, I mean, I'm sure there are microscopical parts, stuff that could feather in the air for quite some time, possibly inhale it and get in your lungs or something. I do have lung problems anyway, but yeah, that could be pretty nasty if you get a home. Like even in your throat, down your stomach or something like that. I can picture that not going down too well. But yeah, what else can I say about that spot? Yeah, yeah, we went there that night, and the second night, yeah, easy peasy, not a problem in the world. That was pretty much it. But you know, it was cool today. It's something that's got nothing to do with that, but you know, I was hanging out so around my work area. Um, That dude's looking at me. He's like, yo, RD. So I'm looking. He go, yo, you don't know me? I'm looking. I'm like, damn, I know, man. He with this tall dude, white dude, and some other dudes, right? I'm like, damn, I don't know this dude. I'm like, "Ah, his eyes look familiar. Like I'm thinking here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I know this dude, man. And he's like, you don't remember me, man? And he said his name, and I still didn't remember. And then I was like, oh shit. And I remember I was actually in school with him. Yeah, and that really put a smile on my face because, that's what I say. Like when I do this stuff, and like when you write graffiti and or the reasons I wrote it was like that. It's like a perfect example of it. He's like, yo, was like after I was out of juvenile detention centers, I've explained several times that I wouldn't get mainstreamed right back into regular public school system. juvenile centers, you're fighting, you're all amped up, and you go into a public school that a little too anxious for that, so they put you in these things. So yeah, this guy, he was in there. I remember him very well. He would go to the same school as me, and that was pretty cool. I was like, wow, yeah, and I remember him at first. I'm like, damn, but I remember him as I said, I remember now you Justice, because I remembered him as Justice, but he told me his real name. And he's like, yeah, man, like a 5%er. That's what he was from up in Co-op City. But yeah, no, that school was wild, man. We started talking about when dude got thrown through the wall and shit. 'Cause yeah, that was like the wildest of the wild kids in like the public school system. Yeah, that was like the wildest of the wild. Put them all together, put them over there, man. Yeah, that was some cool shit. But just the way, it was like, yeah, he was talking. He's like, yo, you still doing that shit? I'm like, ah, they bagged my ass. He's like, yeah, I know, I saw that shit. And that made me smile. Like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, when I used to go through like juvenile centers and stuff when I was a child, and you go in there, people like all the ways to go up to these like DFY facilities would be like the Metro North tracks and the trains. You would go up to Westchester. So, yeah, I would always just make sure I had that shit on smash. So, like the kids and the parents and the brothers and people that are going up to these juvenile centers and stuff, they would see it. Be like, oh shit, RD. There it is. And like, yeah, I haven't seen this guy in 40 something years. Yeah, 40 something years, man. You figure what? I was like 17, 16. And that's after Wagner and all that shit. Because, when I got arrested, and I went to juvenile centers during my junior high school years. So yeah, man, I was 16, maybe 17 when I was in that school. Man. But yeah, everyone was wild, man. Yeah, it was fun. It was really nice meeting him, man. And his friend is actually Ball's friend, Sour. I see him up too. Yeah, Sour. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, but yeah, that was pretty cool. It was interesting because I was like, yeah, they arrested my ass in 2017. He's like, yeah, I know, man. I saw that shit in the paper. He's like, yo, I was telling these people I went to school with you, man, and they didn't believe me and shit. I was like, yeah, man. But yo, that's like what I was saying in my things. Like, I write graffiti and people like that like have bumped into me and come across me in life or hung out with me and shit. They like it always pop up, and it's like I stay on their mind. That kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, what's up from over here? That I mean, you got to think. We're talking before beepers and before like cell phones and all that shit. But yeah, that was cool. And yeah, shout outs. Yeah, Ball knows Sour that was with him. Shour, I believe it is. I've seen it up. Yeah, I know who the guy is. But yeah, that was pretty cool, man. And that's exactly what I was talking about. It's like, yeah, it's exactly that. Like he's been saying, yeah, I've been seeing you up my whole life, man. Like from back then and shit until now. It's like, oh wow. And that really put a smile on my face. It made me feel like like what I was doing for these decades. It's like what I imagined. And you know what I'm saying? It's cool for people from way back then to bump into me now. And like, I remember, that's what he's saying. Like, I remember you used to fuck with that shit in school and shit, doing the RDs and shit, you all toy. Like, it's whack. He's like, and then all of a sudden, boom, you were everywhere, man. He's like, yo, I've been seeing that shit. And that, yeah, that really still put a smile on my face. That shit made my day, that kind of, like, yo, this shit's, it's worth it, man. A lot of people I've been seeing even online, talking about Tracy 168 and passing away and being penniless. But was he really penniless? Like, think about it. Like, in someone that's mind that would say something like that, money's that important to them. You know what I mean? But just walking this earth and being known for walking this earth, it could be a lot more important. I know, all right, I could put it more simple. I know a lot, like I said, I live on the Upper East Side, one of the richest neighborhoods on the face of this earth. I know some people that died not even too long ago. Filthy fucking rich, man. Filthy fucking rich. Filthy rich. Family fighting over the money like fucking dogs, right? Yo, I did not see one fucking post about that human being. Yo, Tracy, that's all I've been seeing. I mean, of course, a lot of my feed, because I look at graffiti, a lot of it comes back. But yeah, Tracy's had a beautiful outpouring. They had the memorial for him and everything, Tracy 168. So you ask yourself, like, would you rather be rich and fucking have all this money? And like dying, like not even like one person mentions you, like at least online or something? Or would you rather, have a good life and do what you do and live your life your way and, be remembered that way? Like he's not just like Tracy, whatever you want to say about him, man. I love the dude. Like I said, man, rest in peace. But he was not just another cog, like just another fucking spoke on a wheel. Tracy was like the fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't just another spoke on a fucking wheel or like just another fucking square fitting in a square hole, man. He really did work outside the realms, like in some points, even reality. I mean, my last couple of conversations with him, but yeah, he lived as he chose to live. And to me, that's more beautiful than any fortune that any person has ever encompassed in their life. I mean, you got to look at it like what's more important to you in life. And Tracy might have went out the most richest person, the most happiest human with all of his accomplishments in life. I mean, some people might get off on swindling old people out of money. I knew people like that too. They were all over the newspaper. Joe Cock. Yeah, he was ripping old people off and this and that, and he'd be bragging about it. Like telling them fake fucking funeral plots and shit like that. I mean, he's passed away too. You didn't hear no mention of him either. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, well, how you walk this earth's important, man. And yeah, a lot of that, you know, yeah, it's wild shit, man. That's all I could say. It's wild, man. And it's just amazing. Like I was thinking back, like, after meeting this person, Justice, we'll call him on here. I don't want to go blowing his real name up, but yeah, meeting him, it like really took me back. Like, wow, like stepped throughout my life, 40 something years going by. I'm 55 now. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, man, seems like such a short, like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like a whole life. Yeah. With that said, people, peace out. I was just thinking, let me get a little into that school, man. You know, to set your mind. It's like the people that were like the hall monitors there, they were like power lifters. For real. Yeah. Like that dude, he said he watches me, Justice on here. He'll tell you, yo, like fucking huge, man. That big dudes, bro. Fucking huge. Yeah, everyone in that school. We were all criminals, man. But Justice, he always dressed nice, 5% always had like a three-piece suit on, man. I never saw that dude in like jeans and a t-shirt a day in my life, man. But yeah, we were all wild. We were wild. We were literally the wildest of the wild, man. It was like that. You ever see a movie, The Dirty Dozen? Yeah, it was like that. Like you're the worst of the military. Yeah, that's how it was. When they get those guys who had Telly Savalas, that movie from back in the days, Telly Savalas, Charles Bronson's in it, right? Lee Marvin. Yeah, that's how it was. Man. I was the only white boy in that whole fucking school too, man. Yeah, man. That was fun shit, man. Yeah, it was the best, man. We had good times in that place, man. Yeah, that was fun shit, man. The camaraderie, man. Yeah, we used to set it off for that place. Yeah, man. But yo, it was good, man. Everyone, loved, man. It was a good situation, man. That was the best school ever, man. Like after coming out of that, I actually was able to get my diploma and stuff like that, and and even through all my strives and stuff like, yeah, it was designed for people like me. It was perfect. Yeah, I could never say nothing bad, man. God knows I could have winded up a lot more screwed up in this world if it wasn't for some of them people that were in that school, man. And definitely shout outs to them, man. They're all dead by now, I am assuming. But yeah, man, definitely, yeah, good times. Good times, man. Yeah.